Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today the map I'm going to be exploring is one whose development I've actually been following for quite some time, GM Post-USSR. Now, before we get going, I actually want to say something really quick. So this map is made by Didascus, who you'll probably recognize as the creator of none other than GM Liminal Space and RP Aneurysm. Now, unfortunately, Didascus has been affected by the situation in Eastern Europe and is looking to move to someplace more stable. Now, he's part of a team working on an independent multiplayer role-playing game titled Aneurysm 4, and that team has actually set up a fundraiser in order to help that happen. So if you want to give a couple bucks to that, it would be greatly appreciated. You can find the link down below. And it's not for nothing. Depending on how much you give, you can actually earn certain rewards relating to Aneurysm 4, up to and including having a copy of the game sent to you when it comes out, and even getting your name in the game. Like I said, if you want to help, the link will be down below in the description. Every little bit helps, and I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated. Well, without further ado, let's take a look at this map, shall we? Now, before we get started, I should preface this by saying this isn't really intended as a creepy map, in the same vein as GM Liminal Space or RP Aneurysm v2. Rather, the creator has based this off of his own memories. But this is still Didascus we're talking about, so I think the ambiance might be a little bit eerie nonetheless. Not just because of the deserted city streets, which never fails to get a shudder out of me, but listen to that ambiance. Having that beautifully ethereal music playing, the sound of some speaker, some boombox playing over there, it gives more the impression that everyone's just disappeared, or even more that this is someplace that, like, I once was, but I'm not supposed to be anymore. Fitting for a map that's based off of memories. I mean, that's what it feels like. It almost feels like I'm walking around in someone else's memories. Which I suppose was the goal. It's strange, you know, Soviet architecture, look at that apartment building over there, it's all very utilitarian, it's all very blocky, and I've always been interested in the things people did to try and kind of bring more life to it in the post-USSR. I mean, from what I understand, a lot of buildings in Eastern Europe had these, like, facades placed on them just over their blocky structure, which, you know, in a way, that's kind of what the Source Engine is like. In discussions about the liminal feeling of source maps, a lot of people talked about the very detailed textures on top of very blocky polygons and all that. Now, one thing I've been wondering this whole time, what is with these things running along over the streets? That looks very different from the way we do streetlights here. Is that actually how they're built in Eastern Europe? I have to say, I've never seen that before. I really like the decision to set this either during sunrise or sunset, seemingly during the fall. That orange glow from the sky gets cast onto the gray concrete walls and manages to bring some color even to those. Both post- and pre-Soviet media has this feeling of kind of very dimly hopeful melancholy that seemingly is on display here as well. I feel like if I, as an American with only a very limited exposure to Eastern European attitudes, were to try and describe it in an image, it would be an abandoned building with a smiley face drawn on the door in brightly colored chalk. I don't know if that's making sense, but I know what I'm talking about. You know, this map actually comes with an option to turn off the music. I haven't done that. I mean, unfortunately, I'll have to mute it if it is copyrighted, but I don't want to because I feel like it's actually making such a big difference right now in the perception of this. Hello, what's down here? Ah. It just... It just wouldn't be a Gary's Mod map if it didn't have some kind of underground, would it? Okay. It seems like there's enough ambient light. Never mind. Immediately ate my words. I was going to say it seems like there's enough ambient light that I won't need the flashlight. Oh, wow. Yeah, now this all of a sudden looks less like something someone's recalling from memory and more like a Halo 2 map. Is there anything down here? Yes, there's a little opening in the back there. We'll come back to that. I think there was a ladder down the hall behind me that I'll want to check out. What is up there? Oh! We're right back up on the surface. How did I not see this when I was walking around back here? Oh well. Alright, back down it is. I feel like this is dream horror in a nutshell. Almost got startled by seeing dark shadows as I rounded the corner. Just a big, empty room. And one little cutout in the corner. It's like a sewer or a canal of some kind. Okay, you know the drill. Gotta try the ladder first. Both a literal and figurative breath of fresh air. Huh, now how's that for city planning? An open, flowing sewer pipe just on the other side of what seems to be a very misplaced park. Right in front of some generic, samey residential. It's like when I tried to play SimCity 4. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's something about Soviet decorative architecture. Like, it's there to spice it up, and for as cool as it looks, I couldn't tell you why, but somehow the effort almost makes it feel more depressing. Oh, look at all this. There's such an incredible amount of detail put into this. Imagine living in these apartments, you look out your window and see that. Always look both ways before you cross the street. Oh, it looks like we can actually go inside some of these buildings. Alright, this plant will have to wait. Let's go see what's over here. This building in particular seems a bit more decrepit than what it's attached to. Oh, there's a suitcase in the corner. You know what? So there's a little blurb that pops up when you first open the map. I won't have showed it in this video, but it said if you don't want to use the rail system, to try interacting with the briefcases and see what they do. Okay, I'm gonna continue exploring normally, but I'll have to check and see what those do. What a strange place. Oh, this goes back down into the sewers. Hang on, what happens if we run all the way down? This underground must... Whoa. Look at all this. I guess this is supposed to be some kind of sewer infrastructure, but it feels more like I'm walking through the guts of some alien spaceship. Finally on the other side now. Let's see where all this comes up. Whoa. It's like... maybe some kind of abandoned train station or something? Oh, look at that. The way the light from the collapsed ceiling shines through, reflecting off of that frosted glass. Beauty and decay, that's why I'm so into urbex. Whoa. Okay, that's a pipe on the wall. I actually got startled because I happened to glance over at the door as I was rounding the corner, and it just looked like there was a round shape, like it was peeking in like this. What is that over there? Red glow sticks, as opposed to the blue ones we've been coming across. What is this place? I was initially thinking train station, but I'm basing that off of absolutely nothing. I love it when you're able to see up through the ceiling tiles. I think I just love things that add a sense of verticality, which that space certainly did a very good job of. Something that I often forget to do, both in real and virtual exploring, is just look up. You'll get rewarded so many times, but it's so easy to miss. What are all these cages? A2, these are like... Wait, I thought we were at surface level, but these are like underground bunkers or something. Are we actually still much farther down than I thought? Maybe that skylight was actually closer to surface level. No, because there's a window to the outside right there. We're just on the ground floor. Or at least close to it. Oh, look at all this detail. It's like playing one of the Stalker games almost. I gotta play Stalker. Give me that. Come on, give me the hammer. Thank you. I've got to play Stalker on this channel one of these days, make like a slow-going series out of it, because one of my favorite things about those games is the exploration aspect, just being able to explore these wonderfully detailed environments. What's in here? I just can't figure out what this place was. Or you know what? Given the direction that I was traveling, is it possible that I'm maybe at the industrial plant that I saw when I was outside? I mean, with all these pipes running about, that certainly does seem like a possibility, doesn't it? I'm getting so turned around. Look at this. These light shafts and this absolutely gorgeous natural decay. Not even decay, just regrowth, this reclamation. I don't know what it is about humans. Seeing plants where plants shouldn't be, I don't know, it's just beautiful. It's like we're celebrating our own destruction. The music is getting louder. I must be getting closer. Yes. Haha, I knew I'd find a source. I wonder if I can interact with this. I can't interact, but I can pick it up, I think? No, I guess I pushed it too far away. Sad. I know I bumped it when I first got to it. Alright, let's try ascending this shaft, whatever this is. I'm starting to more and more think that I'm actually underneath the plant that we saw from the residential area. I do believe I was correct. This is the plant. And those sewers came up in the basement. Now, one thing I want to point out, something this creator has always been very, very good at is sound design in these maps. Now, I don't know if he made the music in this map in particular, but I know he did create the audio for GM Liminal Space, and we had a conversation about that in the Discord one time, which basically, in which he basically said that he tries to make it like the sounds you might hear in a dream. So the kind of thing which may be loud, even deafening, but the kind of thing that just feels so natural that by the time you even notice it, you realize you've been hearing it for quite a long time. I mean, down there, it felt like such a natural progression, something so suited to me walking down those corridors. I actually didn't even pay a single thought to it until I was already almost out of it. Oh my. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but industrial sites, especially ones like this, really just deeply freak me out. I think it's something about this huge mass of perfectly mathematically symmetrical steel beams, just a complete tangle web, a complete spider web. I don't know what it is. There's just something so disturbing to me about such an incredibly busy image, the kind of thing that in nature you might only see in a forest. And yet, unlike a forest or a jungle, it's all perfectly symmetrical, perfectly mathematically aligned to serve some purpose. And that purpose is usually some form of exploitation that is hurting us in the long run. Although I will issue an addendum, my Factorio factories are beautiful. Now let's try and climb one of these catwalks, see what kind of view we can't get from up above. Just look at how complex and how detailed this is. This must have taken an absolute ton of time and effort to put together. And you know, that's how I know that this has to be based on memories. Because if you just asked me, make a factory in Hammer, it would be nowhere near as inspired as this. It would be far more generic. You can tell this is made by someone who knew specifically what details had to be present in order for those memories to connect. I mean, if you ask someone, design this area, sure, they could go and do like a Google Earth run and see what it looks like, but there's a whole other thing in asking someone who is from that area to find the little details that really give it that personality that it would be known for, that people from the area would be able to associate with it. And I feel like that's what adds feeling and makes a map feel like a place and not just a model or a sculpture. I mean, look at that. The apartments in the distance with the treetops from distant forests just behind them. And the smokestacks now in the foreground. Look at those mountains. The treetops catching the light of the sun. From the rooftops, you really get a perspective on just how huge all of this must be. I mean, I just spent a good few minutes climbing up those catwalks, and now we haven't even matched the height of those tanks. Didn't even take fall damage from that. I don't think I'm supposed to be up here. Oh wow, look. It's like a whole exposed section of sewer, like they've torn all this up for maintenance. That looks like my ticket down. I'm just running around the rooftops with a sledgehammer like some kind of Red Faction Assassin's Creed. Can I jump on the pallets? And I made it. I'm getting better at platforming in VR. You know, I don't think there's any VR platforming games, and I hope that it stays that way. That seems like something that simply should not be. Now that I think I've seen most of the map, I'm curious to know how these briefcases work. Oh, I see. They act as teleports. That's pretty cool. Alright, so this way you can skip the undergrounds. Okay, a little bit of an addendum, guys. I was just flying around recording the outro graphic, but in the other side of the lake at this industrial site, I found this little room. We can apparently break these windows, and it's weird. It's like this room is full of, like, dirt and sand and some kind of industrial waste barrels. What's this all about? Can't interact with this door. What's down here? Somehow not being able to interact with this is the creepiest possible outcome. You can't just not give me the satisfaction of knowing why this is here. Okay, very, very interested to know, if anyone knows this, what the deal is with this little room here. You know what? There is actually a little briefcase right next to it. Does it take us anywhere special? No, just back to the street. Well, color me intrigued. Now, I'll admit to a bit of no-clipping to get here, but just look at all this. I think over there is where we started. Well, you've served me well, Companion Hammer. I don't know what it is, but in games that give me the option, I always like to just take random objects and leave them in the exact opposite place of where I found them. I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm taking them on an adventure when I do that. In this case, this hammer was found below ground under the plant, so it only makes sense that I should leave it at the highest possible point in the plant. Enjoy the view, buddy. Now, as I said in the beginning, if you want to help out the creator of this absolutely gorgeous map, as well as several others, the link to do so will be in the description. If you want to give this map a try for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to do that is at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. And as always, I will see you in the next one.